In the summer of 1969, Los Angeles was rocked by a series of brutal murders that would become some of the most infamous in American history. Led by Charles Manson, a cult known as the Manson family carried out these violent acts, which shocked the world and highlighted the dark side of the counterculture movement. Charles Manson was a charismatic, manipulative figure who gathered a group of young followers, primarily women, under his influence. He preached a distorted blend of hippie ideals, race war conspiracies, and apocalyptic visions. The Manson family began as a commune of disillusioned young people searching for meaning in the counterculture of the 1960s. Manson preached about an impending race war, which he called helter-skelter. He convinced his followers that they would trigger this war by committing gruesome murders, after which they would emerge as leaders of a new world. On the night of August 8, 1969, Manson ordered 4 of his followers to go to the home of actress Sharon Tate and kill everyone inside. What followed was a night of unimaginable violence that would leave 5 people dead, including Tate, who was 8 months pregnant. Sharon Tate, the wife of director Roman Polanski, was hosting a gathering at her home. Along with Tate, the victims were Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski, and Stephen Parent, an innocent bystander who had been visiting the property's caretaker. The 4 Manson family members who carried out the Tate murders were Charles Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Linda Kasabian. While Watson led the attack, Atkins, Krenwinkel, and Kasabian followed Manson's orders without question, each playing a role in the violent spree. The brutality of the murders was shocking. Sharon Tate begged for the life of her unborn child, but the killers showed no mercy. The night after the Tate murders, Manson sent another group of his followers to the home of Leno and Rosemary LaBianca. The couple was brutally murdered in a similarly savage attack, with messages like, "Death to pigs," and "Rise" written in blood at the scene. The Manson family's killing spree left Los Angeles in a state of terror. With no immediate arrests, rumors of a cult or satanic ritual spread through the media. The Hollywood elite feared they could be next, while the public demanded answers. In October 1969, the Manson family members were arrested for unrelated crimes, but it wasn't long before police connected them to the Tate LaBianca murders. Susan Atkins, in custody for another crime, boasted about the killings, leading to the group's arrest for the murders. Throughout the investigation, it became clear that Charles Manson hadn't personally committed any of the murders, but had manipulated his followers into doing his bidding. His ability to control others with words alone became one of the most terrifying aspects of the case. The trial of Charles Manson and his followers began in 1970, quickly becoming one of the most sensationalized court cases in American history. Manson's bizarre behavior, including carving an X into his forehead, and the continued loyalty of his followers shocked the nation. The Manson family trial was a media circus. The gruesome details of the murders and Manson's chilling charisma made for headlines that captivated the nation. For months, the public was riveted by every twist and turn of the case. Vincent Bugliosi, the lead prosecutor, played a key role in securing the convictions of Manson and his followers. He presented Manson as the mastermind behind the murders and painted a picture of a man who used fear, drugs, and manipulation to control his followers. In 1971, Charles Manson, along with Tex Watson, Susan Atkins, Patricia Krenwinkel, and Leslie Van Houten, was convicted of first-degree murder. They were sentenced to death, but the sentences were later commuted to life imprisonment after the California Supreme Court invalidated the state's death penalty laws. Sharon Tate's murder cast a long shadow over Hollywood. Once a rising star with a bright future, Tate became a tragic symbol of lost potential. Her death deeply impacted her husband, Roman Polanski, and friends who worked to preserve her legacy. The Manson family murders fundamentally changed the way Hollywood viewed fame and security. Celebrities who had previously felt untouchable began to live in fear, installing security systems and hiring bodyguards. The glamorous lifestyle of Hollywood was replaced by an undercurrent of paranoia. The murders also marked a turning point in the counterculture movement. The idealistic peace and love ethos of the 1960s was overshadowed by the dark, violent undercurrent exposed by Manson. He twisted the counterculture's ideas of rebellion and freedom into something far more sinister. While in prison for an unrelated crime, Susan Atkins boasted about her role in the murders to a fellow inmate. Her confession led investigators to piece together the Manson family's involvement in the Tate LaBianca murders, ultimately leading to their arrest. During the trial, chilling testimonies from former Manson family members revealed the depths of Manson's control and the violent actions taken by his followers. Their cold retellings of the murders shocked the courtroom and the nation. During the trial, Manson carved a swastika into his forehead, symbolizing his rejection of society's norms and his embrace of hate-filled ideologies. His followers soon copied this act, further demonstrating the powerful hold he had over them. Linda Kasabian, who had acted as a lookout during the Tate murders, became the prosecution's star witness. Her testimony was crucial in convicting Manson and the other family members. Kasabian expressed regret for her involvement, and her cooperation spared her from a life sentence. While Charles Manson and his followers were initially sentenced to death, their sentences were later commuted to life imprisonment after the death penalty was abolished in California. Manson continued to influence and manipulate from behind bars, but his power diminished over time. On November 19, 2017, Charles Manson died at the age of 83 after decades in prison. Even in death, he remained a figure of fascination, as his crimes and influence had left an indelible mark on American history. While Charles Manson and his followers are often the focus of public attention, it is essential to remember the lives of the victims. Sharon Tate, Jay Sebring, Abigail Folger, Wojciech Frykowski, Stephen Parent, and the LaBiancas. Their untimely deaths remain a profound tragedy. The Manson family murders remain a chilling reminder of the power of manipulation and the potential for violence lurking beneath the surface of society. Charles Manson exploited the fears, insecurities, and desires of his followers, leading them down a path of unimaginable horror. The legacy of these crimes continues to captivate, horrify, and remind us of the fragility of human morality. Subscribe, like, and check out our profile for more interesting mysteries.